I want to start today by asking you to do something for me. If you can, just for a second, close your eyes. Unless you're driving, of course, then please keep them wide open. But if you can, picture your kitchen right now. What is the very first feeling that hits you? Is it peace or is it stress?
Mental to-do list, maybe?
Yeah, a to-do list, or just the low hum of a dishwasher that's been running for like 3 hours.
For most people, honestly, it's a mix of utility and some mild chaos.
It's
the engine room of the house.
Exactly. It's a work zone. It's where the sausage gets made, sometimes literally. You're chopping onions, you're scrubbing pans.
Dodging the dog while you're carrying a pot of boiling water. It's functional.
It's purely functional. But today, we're looking at a set of sources, specifically a text called The Essence of Curated Culinary Sanctuaries, that basically claims we've been getting this completely wrong.
Yep.
It argues that if you treat the kitchen purely as a workshop, you've already lost. The goal, according to this deep dive, is to turn that room into a sanctuary.
And I know sanctuary sounds a little bit like real estate marketing fluff, you know,
Right.
like something you read in a brochure for a spa. But the source material here is actually quite rigorous. It's not a manual on how to install a backsplash or which smart fridge to buy.
No.
It's more of a philosophical treatise on atmosphere.
Yeah.
It treats the kitchen almost like a psychological space, not just a physical one.
And that's our mission today. We're going to deconstruct how a room full of hard surfaces and loud appliances can become, and I'm quoting the text here, refined, calm, and deeply luxurious.
But without feeling like a museum where you're afraid to touch anything?
Exactly, because that's the fear, right?
Mhm.
If it's too nice, I can't make a mess in it, and if I can't make a mess...
You can't cook. There's a very fine line between fancy and uncomfortable. And the source argues that the way you walk that line, the absolute foundational principle, is one single concept: balance.
Okay, let's start there and really unpack balance, because in the design world, and just in general, balance usually means symmetry. If I have a candlestick on the left, I need one on the right. Mirror images, is that what we're talking about?
No, and that's a crucial distinction the source makes right at the beginning. Balance here is not about geometry. It's about tension.
Tension.
Yeah, it's about the dynamic interaction between surfaces, materials, light, and furniture.
Mm-hmm.
So think of it less like a math equation where both sides have to be equal.
And more like a conversation.
Exactly. More like a conversation between all the objects in the room. It's how a rough, cold stone surface speaks to a soft, warm curtain. How light hits a dark corner.
So it's not about matching, it's about counterweights.
That's a great way to put it. The text uses a phrase I really liked. It says, the goal is to create a space that feels complete from every angle.
Complete from every angle. That's interesting. It sort of suggests that there's no backstage in the kitchen.
Right.
Whether you're standing at the sink doing the dirty work or sitting at the island with a glass of wine, the view should feel resolved.
Right. And to achieve that, to make the room feel complete instead of just assembled, the source breaks it down into 4 distinct elements. And the first one is something we usually just think of as a utility.
A way to see what we're doing.
Yeah. But this text treats it like a building material.
You're talking about light, specifically natural light.
This is section 1, the alchemy of light. The source literally calls natural light the active ingredient of the sanctuary.
I found this section really challenging because, let's be honest, not all of us can just punch a hole in the wall and add a skylight.
Sure.
We're often stuck with the windows we have, but the text seems to argue that it's not just about having windows, it's about understanding why natural light is so different from artificial light.
It creates a hierarchy of quality. The source makes this fascinating comparison. It argues that even the most expensive, high-end LED lighting system is static. It's flat.
It's stagnant.
It is. It gives you the same lux, the same color temperature, every second of the day. It doesn't breathe. But natural light's alive. The text says it has depth and softness that bulbs just can't replicate.
It changes the room from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Exactly.
There was a specific point about materials here that I thought was a huge insight. The text says that natural light is the only thing that reveals subtle color variations.
Yes, this is the rendering argument. If you spend, say, $5,000 on a beautiful slab of marble or a custom cabinet, and you just stick it under a generic downlight, you're seeing maybe 60% of that material's character. Artificial light just flattens texture, washes it out.
But natural light grazes across the surface.
Yeah, it grazes. It catches the grain of the wood, it catches the veins in the stone.
So basically the light makes your expensive materials actually look expensive.
It enhances the investment, yeah. But emotionally, it does something else. The text says this kind of dynamic light makes the interior feel open and welcoming. It's the difference between a sterile lab and, say, a sunroom.
And this connects back to that balance idea we started with. The source talks about light moving gently across textured walls. That word moving is key.
Because if the light moves, the room has a sense of time. And that anchors you in the present moment. That's the sanctuary part.
Right.
Think about a casino. A casino has no windows because they want you to lose track of time. A sanctuary uses light to connect you to time. It feels more organic.
Okay, but let's play devil's advocate for a second. What if a listener has a kitchen that faces a brick wall? Or they're in an apartment with one tiny window? Does the whole theory fall apart?
It's a fair question.
Yeah.
The source doesn't explicitly solve for the windowless room, but it implies a solution through this principle of softness.
So if you can't have the sun, you have to mimic it.
You have to mimic its behavior.
Yeah.
You avoid that harsh, direct overhead spotlight grid, that interrogation room feel. You diffuse the light, bounce it off the ceiling or walls to create an ambient glow.
So you're trying to recreate that grazing effect, even if you have to cheat it a bit.
Exactly. You want light washing over surfaces, not just beaming down on them.
All right, so we have this foundation of dynamic light, but a room full of beautiful light is still an empty room. We need to put things in it. Which brings us to section 2, anchoring the room.
Furniture placement. And in the modern kitchen, there's really only one protagonist.
The kitchen island.
The kitchen island. The text calls it a visual anchor, which I think is a great term. Open-plan kitchens can feel very floaty and you need something to orbit around. But here's where the source gets critical of modern trends. It draws a line between scale and excess.
This is the McMansion critique, right?
Totally. We've all seen those kitchens where the island is the size of an aircraft carrier. It has 2 sinks, a wine fridge, 3 levels.
LED strips underneath it. It looks like a spaceship landed in the middle of the house. It's almost aggressive.
That is excess. The source argues a sanctuary relies on scale. Scale means it fits the proportions of the room. It feels solid, not showy. It relies on material quality rather than gadgets.
It's quiet confidence versus loud bragging.
Right. And once you have this anchor, so the question becomes, what do you put on it? Because this is the biggest pain point for me, and I assume for a lot of people. The island is a magnet.
Oh, for mail, keys, grocery bags. It's the flat surface theory. If there is a flat surface, junk will expand to fill it. It's a law of physics.
It really is. But the source paints a very different picture. It advocates for thoughtful styling, which is tricky because styling can sound fake.
Right, like you're setting a state. Are we talking about a bowl of waxed lemons here? Because nothing says, I don't cook here, like fake food.
No, and the text is specific about avoiding that. It advocates for a lived-in look, but a curated one. It lists specific categories: ceramic objects, sculptural pieces, and natural elements.
Why ceramics specifically? Why not, say, glass or metal?
Well, think about the light again. Ceramics absorb and soften light. They have an earthy quality. If you put a shiny metal bowl on a shiny granite countertop, it's just more hardness, more reflection.
It's more glare.
It's more glare. A rough ceramic bowl adds warmth. It breaks the visual slide. The text says when you layer these items, the space feels intentional.
Intentional is doing a lot of heavy lifting there. It basically means I chose to put this here.
Yes. It signals to the brain, someone lives here and they care.